Hi, hello beautiful people of the internet. My name is Yami. Welcome back to the channel. If this is the first time you're watching one of my videos, then hi, hello, welcome. So today I will be drawing a little screenshot redraw, I guess you could call it, of Luca and Alberto because the Luca anniversary recently came around and I'm still kind of obsessed over this movie, and like that just kind of reignited that obsession. I'm glad to know that nothing has changed ever since the last time I drew them here for YouTube. So anyways, I'll just start drawing them. I want to draw this pose because I just find it so cute and so funny, but I also want to do this, I want to do this redraw in my own designs for them. So I actually do have some fan designs for adult versions of them, more like teenage versions of them. I also need to make one for Julia, but I've been procrastinating on that one. I'm really sorry, Julia. R.I.P. I love you. It's just that I forget to draw you. So yeah, I'll be drawing these two today. I also kind of just want to give kind of like an update. I kind of want to do some kind of like a story time situation here. Just chit chat about different things in my life and just update you. So I recently graduated high school. That's something that I'm honestly really happy about. I'm finally free from the confines of my very annoying, very strict Catholic school. Funnily enough, I don't think that I'm the person who hates that school the most. I think that the person that hates the school the most is my mother, because she got scammed. But anyways, I have many stories from that place because that place was a hellhole. Honestly, it was just a chaotic, just overall not fun time. There were some fun moments, obviously, and I'm thankful because that is where I met my best friend in the absolute world, and I also met the rest of my friends and my significant other. So at least there's that going for it. But otherwise, I just hated that place. I'm gonna admit, I did cry when the final day where our final day of school, they did kind of this procession for us, and I did cry because you're spending you spent your entire life there, and all of a sudden you're leaving everything behind. It was weird, but afterwards I honestly couldn't be happier to leave. Me and my best friend, we were talking about that, and we had to return to school to celebrate the new class, especially the new class board, or the student council. So I was part of my class's student council. It was more so a directive board because it wasn't something that it was more so just something that we did for the final year of high school. The students vote for members of the board to be kind of the representatives of the class, and I got to be one of those members of the student board. And honestly, it wasn't that bad at first. Our board, the president of our board, he was, he just had a very select few group of people, a very select group of people that he collaborated with, and for the rest of us, he kind of like just sidelined. So at no moment was there an actual union in the student council, unless of course he needed something. And when that happened, we were suddenly expected to be basically, you know, like just answer to his beck and call. So this one time we were working on stuff for Valentine's Day, because in my school, how we do it is that to collect funds for our prom night, or I guess in my old school, I guess I no longer go there. What we did was we did different events to collect funds. Excuse me. So for Valentine's Day, we did a sale, and in that sale, we you know, like it was basically like our job to you know, like do the promos and all that stuff. But the president decided, instead of actually you know, like trusting us with the more like important stuff, he basically used me and my group as kind of like the as kind of like their work dogs, essentially. And at one point, the vice president, which was in our group, because like we were divided into groups of senior year of 30 students each, and yeah, basically like that was just like our group. So the vice president was like, yo, what the fuck? And they finally gave us like actually important shit to do, like working on the sales and also working on the items that we were gonna sell. Very stressful times. I remember me and my friends going to this one friend's house to make brownies, and we were stressing over because we, you know, like we we had to make all of these brownies, and at one point we weren't even sure that we were going to have enough brownies for our sale. So the offer was 2 brownies each pack, but we didn't have enough to make give 2 brownies per pack of brownies. So all we did was just we just like cut the brownies in half, like in triangular shapes, so that it looked like there were more brownies, but it was just a brownie in half. I also had to make my own brownies the next day with my mom, and that was also just a chaotic process. Needless to say, if I had already hated Valentine's Day beforehand, because honestly, just Valentine's Day is just annoying, especially like back then, especially because I was single. It felt weird that I have like a significant other. It won't be as annoying, but it probably will be, because like my boyfriend and I, we're not exactly kind of like we're romantic obviously, but we're not the super romantic type. We're more laid back, if that makes any sense. And honestly, that's kind of like just like how it works for us. We just enjoy being more laid back and just like chilling out. It was kind of like just awkward just selling the brownies the sale, I should say, it was pretty bad. It was so bad. Because we were basically all over the place selling stuff and making sure that sales got there in time. And it was an awkward time, just very awkward, that they didn't have any stuff to like get. Oh, we did have a horror story where we basically had to like figure out what was up with a account, because we had no idea why we were getting more we had no idea why there was like a problem with the count of money that we had versus the money that we actually thought we had. We had less money than what was supposed what we were supposed to have, and me and my friends, we were just like panicking because we didn't know what the fuck was going on. Pretty sure it was just a mess up on the count on my end, on the other person's end. It doesn't really matter. It just, what really happens is that there was a mess up, and that was why we were having we didn't have the money that we thought we did. That sale went by, and honestly, thank God, because I was far too stressed. Like my mom was like, yo, you need to chill out. But in general, like that same energy of stress that accompanied us through the entirety of the school year, mostly through the second semester. 12th grade is supposed to be kind of like one of your more chill years of high school, because it's just gathering up money, getting ready for graduation, getting ready for your senior prom. But our school had different plans. I can't really blame, I can't really hate on the teachers, but because they also had a lot on their plate. But good Lord, did they make our final year of high school just much more difficult than what it needed to be. I was supposed to graduate with an English medal, because basically how my school does it is that if you get an A, get straight A's on a certain subject for the entirety of your time in the school, you receive a medal basically validating that, right? And up until that point, I had my English medal, and that was my best subject. I was always straight A's with that one. And according to my English teacher, I had supposedly gotten overconfident. Here's the kicker. I never really felt overconfident in that class. If anything, I felt underconfident, because every time where I thought I had studied enough, I would get a grade that didn't reflect what I thought I had studied for, right? So obviously that was pretty stressful. So but basically, I forgot what I was saying. Basically, I forgot what I was saying. I forgot that I was speaking. Alright, There was this one time where I had to study for an English test, and the very next day I had a physics test. Physics is my worst subject, and I had a few issues already with my physics teacher because of it. And in all honesty, my physics teacher was not that great of a teacher, if you could even call her that. I chose to study for my English test instead of my physics test, which I knew for a fact that I was not going to get a great grade. But I would have rather study for my English test to see if I could get like a good grade than, you know, like keep studying for a grade that I know I was gonna pass, but not, you know, like not my best subject. So after I take those tests, like a few weeks roll around, I get a C on that English test, which I don't know how that happened, but it did happen. Once that happened, I kind of like I guess I just disassociated, and I just left it all to the hands of God or the universe. You know, whenever you have one of these situations where everything just kind of like just completely falls from your control, like you just like lose control over everything out of that situation, yeah, that's basically what happened with me. I basically just said, Diosito, like, this is in your hands now. And I just kissed it up to God. I did graduate with good grades. So at least there's that. But yeah, it was not a great time by the end of my high school career. I'll probably experience that in a few years, like on the other side of the spectrum as a teacher. Scares me even more. Like emotionally, that was hell. One of the worst years in my entire high school career was it was junior year, and that's kind of like a universal rule of thumb when it comes to junior year. Junior year is never the easiest grade to be in. It's usually one of the most difficult grades. Like if 12 was like hell, 11th was just as bad, if not kind of worse. The reason why I say that 11th was just as bad, if not worse, than 12 was because 11th was kind of that weird period of time where we were still taking online class, and my school did not adjust the best. Let's just say it like that. That semester that were just kind of buck wild. Because it was a Catholic school, we took religion classes as well to students, and I could go into a whole ramble. I have been traumatized for life thanks to that school, but I won't get into that right now. But that wasn't like the worst part of the year. We also had this one other teacher who was just a nightmare. Because, okay, let me explain. So, for the majority of my time studying at the school, particularly in high school, we had this really nice math teacher who would like constantly like explain something again and again and again. We needed to. She was really good at explaining. Like I often like also like managed to like grasp the subjects or like the topics that she was explaining in class, even though I am not a mathematician, like not in the slightest. My significant other is though, which, you know, just makes me salty and I kind of hate him for that. Just kidding, dear, I love you. But she was really good at explaining the topics. She honestly was just like a very nice teacher and a very nice person in general. But she was pregnant, and we were all like super excited for her baby. We were all really excited because she was already a mom, but she was going to be a mom once again. And we were all just like really excited for her, but we were also terrified because that also meant that she would be leaving us for a period of time in the semester when she finally gave birth. So that happened in our second semester of like 11th grade. And she couldn't give classes herself because she was on maternity leave. So, oh shit, I did that with my chancla. But anyway, we were terrified because only two of my friends or like a few of my friends were actually good at math. And the rest of us, we were absolute dog shit at it. Like my best friend and I, if there is one thing, like out of all the things that we have in common, if I had to choose one that's like 100% for certain, it's the fact that me and my best friend, we hate math with a passion. My best friend, they hate math. And so do I, honestly. I absolutely despise the subject. So because of that, like we were terrified because we understood the subjects whenever she explained them, but anyone else, I'm pretty sure we wouldn't. And we soon had that theory put to the test when a new substitute teacher was hired to give us the class while our actual teacher was on maternity leave. So the first thing this man does, let's call him Mr. R, is he decides to make his students explain the different subjects, the different topics for him, because he wasn't actually like a math major. He had a psychology major. He also didn't have like an actual he didn't actually have like any experience. Like he had experience when it came to teaching, but it was in college. And honestly, I feel really sorry for any students who studied under him in college, because that shit must have been hard. That shit must have been hell. Not because he was strict, just because he didn't explain anything. He would basically just write shit on the board, and as we moved along, he would just like draw shit out and hope for us, and he hoped that we would like pick everything up. One day, he gave us an assignment that was supposed to be worth 20 points, But the thing is that nobody in our class really understood what we had to do, because that's how bad he was at explaining everything. We were all just confused. This wasn't even just our normal pre-calculus class. This was just statistics, and statistics isn't that hard in comparison to pre-calculus, but still pretty messy. None of us had any idea what we were supposed to do. The assignment is worth 20 points, and we only had until the end of the class to finish the assignment, and we were all freaking out because we had no idea what we were doing. So, like when it came to speaking to teachers, I was very respectful and, you know, like treat someone with the respect that they deserve, right? Because like everyone deserves a basic amount of respect. But I wouldn't let a teacher, you know, like just like ruin our grades and just fuck them over. So I opened my mic and I asked him what I already knew, which was due today, like on the day of the class, and he was like, yes, it was. And I was like, yeah, why are you giving an assignment that's worth points to a class when you have barely, like when none of your students really understand it? And he's just like, I've been at this for 2 weeks now. And I just looked at him dead in the eye. This was also when I had gotten my second dose of the vaccine. I didn't know if this was just part of the side effects. I was really tired, and I was just, I wasn't having any bullshit that day. Looked at that man and said, I'm sorry, sir. I say this with all due respect, but writing shit out on the board and hoping that your students understand isn't actually teaching. And everyone else just stood there silent. Like a few others backed me up, saying like, yeah, he's right, we don't really get this. And I felt really bad, especially for my friends, but they were like, nah, bitch, you kind of did us a favor there. Always been known for being pretty blunt. Not even teachers were safe from my bluntness, I guess. It's just funny because back then I used to be more shy. I was a lot more quiet of a kid. I was much more, you know, like a very hushed down kid. I wouldn't speak unless spoken to, stuff like that. And just like started showing my true personality more. Like it wasn't like me being, like the most outgoing person ever, but I was definitely a little bit more outgoing than I was before. He looks a little too horrified. So, I think that's good-ish. Alright, so day 2. Oh. Alright, so day 2. So today I'm gonna try and finish this, hopefully. Hopefully try to finish this. I did write a little note here to give Alberto a tattoo. This portion might be a little bit more quiet. So let me just pick his colors, and I can just start coloring him. Since he is more further into the back, I am going to color him first, and then I can color Luca on top. Might also color in the blush now. I don't usually do, when it comes to finished pieces like this, I don't usually do the rendering. Do the stage. I usually do all the like rendering on the paint piece after I merged the layers, but since you kind of want to speed up the process a little bit, I'm also going to draw in his blush because it's just easier. A mutual commented that I made Alberto a pretty boy. And all I can say about that is it's the natural progression of things, okay? Can't do anything about it. I'm sorry. I'm trying to finish this as quickly as I can as well because for college I want to buy a new iPad. And I've been saving up for that because since I recently graduated and stuff, and my older cousin suggested that I buy a new iPad for myself. I had been thinking about it ever since. And I kind of want the okay, this is gonna sound really stupid, right? But my favorite color is purple. It's been kind of like my recent like color obsession, and as a result, that's kind of like the reason why I got myself like when it was time to like change my phone, when I discovered that it was like it was possible to like get like a purple iPhone, I was like, I need it in my life. So yeah, that's why I have this phone now. Because my old phone, for all intents and purposes, it's still good. Like I can still use that phone just fine. In fact, that my old phone is the one that I am using to record this video. Like it's a 10R. It's not really old at all. Funny how this is the first time that I actually write down their heights in centimeters. I'm just too used to writing everything down in the imperial system. When you're technically American, but you're also not. Because of that, we don't really use the metric system here. We don't really use the international system of measurements. We just use the imperial system. Which I'm pretty sure the imperial system only makes sense to the people who use it. And I don't know who came up with the imperial system. P little brain can't comprehend the metric system, and honestly, I feel ashamed about that. But I'm a stupid Hibaro. What do you want from me? Like, you can't expect that much from me. Like, I will be the first to admit that I honestly find my design for Luca just absolutely adorable. Honestly, I see so many people do the reverse with these two, where instead of Luca having the ponytail, like most people give Alberto long hair and a ponytail. And honestly, like all those designs, they look super cool. Like Alberto with long hair looks super cool. Whenever I read like Luca fanfics, because that's what happens with me when I see a piece of media that kind of hurts me, that kind of hurts my soul. I just look up fics of it to cope. And whenever I read news and everything with these two, I always pictured Luca. I also find a lot of the fan arts where they draw Luca in like skirts and dresses to be super cute too. Like I honestly feel like this boy could rock all that. Okay, so talking about Luca fics, in actually writing my own, I actually finished the first chapter. And I've had this idea in mind for a while now. I actually tried to write it before, but I just didn't like how I was writing it. I didn't like the writing style that I chose for it. So for this one, I'm trying to make it seem a little bit more nice, a little bit more cleanly. And I am taking my time. I'll probably post the first chapter soon. I don't know when exactly, but it'll happen. So I'm probably gonna start posting everything, at least in terms of the fic, I'm going to post everything about that over there on AO3. So as for like the details of how the story goes, basically Luca and Alberto finally decide to go on their trip together. But they decide to through Italy. So yeah, it's just their trip through Italy. It's like their first exploration of the world, because they still feel like Luca and Alberto have kind of like that shared dream of, like just like exploring the world. And I feel like that just makes a lot of sense for them to at one point just like go on travels. So the underdogs, they travel through Italy, and the catch is that everything seems to go normal and stuff until they realize that something is off. Not with like the places they travel to, but just the vibes are off, It's actually being chased by a sea monster hunter. Like they just had no idea that would be something that they would have to like account for, and they have no idea why this guy is chasing them, because as far as they know, they haven't given any hints that they might be sea monsters. They're not really gonna give up on their dream of traveling through Italy. I had no idea that drawing of Luca and Alberto in the station would blow up the way that it did, because I wholeheartedly just posted that one for fun. And I'm still posting these for fun, Whenever I do fan art, it's for me, it's for pieces of content that I enjoy. So whenever I post fan art of Encanto, whenever I post fan art of Luca, well-known media, it's because I enjoy that piece of content, I enjoy that piece of media. Honestly, I just wouldn't be posting, I wouldn't be drawing for it. This a little bit more. This ready to render. Alright, I think we're good. I like to play with the opacity of my brush too, just so that I can get softer strokes. Also need to make a note here. Well, in the movie, they don't have lips. Or at least colored lips. It's just their lip line, and that's about it. At this point, lips are kind of a standard in my style. It just feels weird to look at characters without lips in my art style. multi-chapter stories. And honestly, I really enjoy multi-chapter stories. And there's a few good ones there in the Luca fandom. There are a few that are just really good. I remember this one time I was reading a Luca fic, the perspective of Daniela, and Daniela was, like really happy because she realized that her boy had, like fallen for Alberto, and it was just the cutest thing ever seeing how supportive she was of it. I think the author, they originally planned for it to be a one-shot, and then they added an extra chapter to it. Honestly, it was super cute. I absolutely adore is a fic by, I think it's Hey It's G fic. It's called Si Meglio di Venti Vespa. I don't know if I pronounced that right. But it's a really cute fic. It's a really interesting fic. It's 14 chapters, I think, and it's a really nice slow burn story. I absolutely love how the author portrayed Alberto and Luca and their dynamic. It's a very it's very soft. It's just a very sweet story. Appreciated in Luca, and I don't know why, is Libera Pauro or Nona Pauro. Like, she's just a queen. I love her so much. She is like one of my favorite characters in the story, just like how much she's there to actually support Luca. How she's the only one in her family who at first really supports his interests. So I just love Libera so much. I actually didn't know that was her name until very recently. Like a few days ago, I discovered that was her name. And honestly, it just makes sense. It just suits her. That was detailing like the differences between Luca and Alberto because of how they approached skincare and like self-care. And Luca just had a very detailed like skincare regimen, while Alberto just used 13 in 1. Alright, BRB. It's been really hot out here recently. There are some points in the evening where I can't even properly record videos because it gets that hot. A fanfic, if this would even be like something that happens, but it would be so funny if like in some scenes they just tugged like how they did in the movie where they just get really touchy. Okay, so I'm very much an enjoyer of Alberto not knowing that he has feelings for Luca. Like just like a very slow realization. It's kind of like a slow burn, but at the same time, it's like it's based on feelings that were already there. It's just the realization that's like late. I feel like since I'm sorry to say this, but like Luca is the smarter one of the two, right? So I feel like Luca would probably be the one to, you know, like recognize his feelings first, but you know, like be like scared to act on them. While Alberto, once he realizes, he's like trying to he's like, you know, like you know how in the movie it almost looks like he's subconsciously trying to impress Luca. As I was saying before, I genuinely wasn't gonna have my hopes up when I watched this film. The trailer. But then I watched the film and I was just like, fuck. I'm attached. Art used to be really line art heavy before. Rendering and just my color, my old coloring style, I don't hate it, you know? But it got tiring because it's just so stressful. For example, for references and other stuff, since I do want a more clean look, but since these are more finished pieces, I can just be more free with. So I just paint and then I kind of do line art. I guess that's kind of how you can call it, but it really isn't. It's kind of line art, but at the same time it isn't. This may or may not be one of my final pieces in this iPad, and I don't know how to feel about that. I got a little emotional because I've actually had this iPad for a good while now. And it's, it's been where I mostly flourished as an artist. We can start rendering Alberto. All I know is that whoever sims for Ekole, you meet Jesus. Funny how I love drawing here, but I'm kind of like more intimidated by it. Just want the shapes to come out well. What we really need to do now is just render this arm. We're almost done with this, which is honestly pretty cool. I didn't expect to finish this so quickly. I feel like I need to draw their sea monster forms more. That's something that I always enjoy doing. Like, I sketch them more in my sketchbook, like their sea monster forms, because they're actually really fun to draw for me. But I always, and this is this is just like something that's always happened with me. I always forget to give their sea monster forms attention as well. Thinking of something cursed that I don't think that I want to share. No, fuck it. I'm using this as my therapy. One of my friends, he was talking with one of his own friends. They were just like talking about like random stuff. Apparently, like they were just like hanging out at the park, and they were talking about the Omegaverse. Like, his friend was talking to them about the Omegaverse. I was instantly hit with just trauma. Asks me like, what's the Omegaverse? I am not answering that question. You can discover that on your own devices. If you do know what the Omegaverse is, though, I am so sorry. Recently, I've been watching Avatar: The Last Airbender again, and I just finished rewatching it a few days ago, and God, I love that show so much. Full opinion, 3, 2, 1, yes, I do like Zutara, but I also like Katang. They're both nice ships. When it comes to Avatar: The Last Airbender, I am a multi-shipper. Might also rewatch Korra soon. But if I'm being completely honest, I'm not too hyped for it. I do like Korra. I'll be honest, I did like Korra a lot. It was a nice story, it was nice. But in comparison to its predecessor, I do prefer ATLA. Alright, so that's it for his glasses. Struggled with these so much. Okay, so now I'm gonna do his freckles. To draw freckles, I just use the Flicks brush because it's easier. And then I erase some of the extra spots and I overlap on the hair or on the eyes. Basically just any part where I don't really want there to be freckles. Alright, the tattoo. And then I just resize it. Let's do a time-lapse replay real quick. So here's the sketching. I feel like I spent a good chunk of my time sketching these two out. Particularly working on Luca's face. Oh, what I did here is I did do like a photo bash of a screenshot of the movie. Basically, whenever you don't know what to use as like a background, I recommend that if you're doing something like a scene redraw like this, you photo bash like a picture of or like a screenshot of the movie. That way you can also practice your painting skills by painting in the background. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. And I really hope that you found my ramblings at least sort of entertaining. So anyways, I'll see you guys next time with a new video. Later, nerds!